Welcome to Patriot Talk. How about that? This is Chris Level. This is Joe Sexton, the new head coach and athletics coordinator. Will be over at Liberty High School. We'll figure out what we're going to call that place here in just a second. But first of all, Coach, this is an opportunity that you got back in, the spring, I guess,
Right.
of this past year. Take me through that, because you were in coaching, and then you kind of been overseeing all athletics and in many ways helping Coach Catwinkle with and everything like that. But you wanted to get back into this thing. Kind of just talk about that.
Well, when you've done something pretty much your whole career, it's something that never really gets out of your system, I guess. And when this opportunity came up, I've always wanted to be a head football coach. I think I've told a few folks before that, my brother was a head football coach, his whole career, and I got to be on the sidelines when I was 7 years old, and that's kind of when I figured out that that's what I wanted to do. So this opportunity came up, and Coach Cat presented it one day, and I was like, well, I have to think about it. Okay, I'll do it. So here we are, and I couldn't think of a better place to do it, than here at Lubbock-Cooper. And when that situation came up, it was a no-brainer for me. The type of facility that place is going to be was incredible. So here we go, and I'm excited to do it.
And so this is going to be different for everybody. This is a new high school that's going to open up. It's changing the dynamics all over the district, and you're kind of right in the middle of it. I am too in many ways. Let's talk timetable on this school. This school is being built right now.
Right.
It will be mostly opened or half opened or however you want to phrase that next fall. So kind of get into that part and
Okay.
we're about to roll here.
So starting, I'm thinking we can probably start moving into that place probably June, I'm hoping, so we can kind of get everything kind of put away the way we want it to be. So we're gonna open up in August, and our superintendent has said we're gonna open that school. So when we open that school, it's probably gonna be half a school. We're gonna have some classrooms open. We will have a football field, a practice football field, and a track, and off we go. So I'm thinking, we're gonna open up with 9th and 10th graders.
Okay.
So I've been spending a whole lot of time, with Laura Bush Middle School. I've been out. I'm going to start spending more time with Cooper Middle School, just so I get to know some of those 8th graders that are coming in, and they get to know me. So.
And as far as you mentioned facilities, I believe this is correct, and I'm not misstating this or anything, but the new stadium will be opened up in 2024 for football, correct?
Yes, that's what I'm hearing. In 24, we should have a full stadium.
Okay.
And field house with weight rooms. All of the things that we're going to need to have a successful athletics program should be in place.
Okay. And people are curious about, okay, when this school opens up, what sports, what programs will it have? Will it have a band? I mean, all the stuff. You're more worried about athletics and all those things, but kind of take me through what will be available to the student.
Right. So right now, every Wednesday we get together with Mr. Bryant and some other administrators, and we have a Liberty planning meeting. One of the things that we've been talking about is at the end of October, or actually right now, there should be surveys going out or here pretty quick, and they're going to be asking, all right, are you going to go to Liberty, and what are you going to do when you get to Liberty? What sports are you going to participate in? I think most sports that we're going to have, we'll probably know more about that probably the end of October. I think October 28th is going to be possibly the deadline for people to get all this information back to us so we can figure out, all right, how many coaches do we need? Do we need, tennis coaches, golf coaches, soccer coaches? What are we going to need? So, and as far as fine arts, band, dance, cheer, pom, what are we going to need as far as staffing goes? So we will get to all that hopefully pretty quick, and I'm ready to get it done. So I know how many coaches we're going to need to hire, and just all the things we're going to need to make it successful.
There are some people you have in mind about joining your staff, but I mean, what I hear you saying is you really don't know what coaches, and you really can't hire coaches or some of the staff until maybe after the first of the year. Is that right?
Yeah, we're looking at possibly starting to post some jobs around Christmas. Once we get farther into the school year and some coaches are finishing up their seasons, we can, and again after October we'll know exactly how many we need. So I haven't really talked to a whole lot of people about anything. Lots of people that have inquired about wanting to come to Liberty High School, and it's kind of overwhelming all the folks around the area that want to come to Lubbock-Cooper.
What are we going to call this place?
I'm going to call it Liberty High School.
Okay. Yeah, because it says LCP, and I don't know whether that L stands for, in this case, Liberty, or if it stands for Lubbock or whatever. But yeah, kind of take me through the.
The LCP brand kind of got started whenever Coach Cat took over in 2013, 14, somewhere around in there. But he did, he came up, with putting the LCP on our helmets and everything, and it's taken off. No matter where you go around the state, if I have something on, they'll go, "Oh, Lubbock-Cooper." So, people around in the state know what that means, and our administration wanted to keep that. It's going to be the Lubbock-Cooper Patriots. I think the real name is Lubbock-Cooper Liberty High School.
Okay.
That's a mouthful, but
yes, it is.
So that's why I'm just going to go with Liberty High School.
But LCP will still be in the end zone or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Colors. You're wearing a navy blue shirt, so the colors. I think everybody kind of knows that.
Right.
Yeah. Navy blue would be the primary.
Yeah. Navy is going to be our primary color. With a little red and white mixed in there. Red's going to be our color that's going to tie us.
Secondary.
Our secondary color is going to tie us in with Lubbock-Cooper High School. So
the Pirates and the Patriots. When it opens up, and people, there will be gyms for volleyball and basketball.
Right.
And I believe there's 2 of them. I don't know if there'll be a baseball facility initially, but that one is on the way in a year or two. Kind of take us through all, not just football, but like the other kind of facilities and things that people, we can get into tennis, just kind of however you want to take it.
One of the big questions that I get is, what are we going to have facility-wise when we open? So everything is going to be built in phases. And one of the first phases is going to be a turf practice field and a track, and then we'll have 2 practice gyms like you mentioned, and those practice gyms are going to be really nice. Our competition gym is going to come along after that. One of the later things that's going to come in is our baseball and softball fields. So we're going to have to probably find a place to practice. Probably going to share game facilities with Lubbock-Cooper High School, so we will probably get some of our games scheduled over there at that school. And then as far as soccer, tennis, everything else is going to be brought in later phases.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
As far as, so a lot of people are curious about, you're going to be the head football coach. What is Joe Sexton going to run? Like, hey, man, what kind of offense are we would I be playing in over there? What defense? I mean, how are we going to do this? How many teams will you have initially? And I want you to address this too, because that's the only sport. Well, you know what? I'll say that. I'll ask this question too, but what schemes would you run on football? And then I'll ask the next question.
Well, and again, there's a whole lot of questions that don't have answers right now. As far as, kind of what I'm wanting to do, I got to see what kind of kids we're going to have. Again, end of October, we should have a pretty good grasp on who's coming and Who's going to stay? Freshmen, and I think this is a question that a lot of parents have that I get is
my wife wants to know the answer to this, too.
Who gets to go to Liberty High School?
Yeah.
So if you live in the Liberty attendance zone and you are a current freshman at Lubbock-Cooper High School, you're going to have that option to stay at Lubbock-Cooper High School if you want to. If you live in the Liberty attendance zone and you're a freshman and you want to go to Liberty, come on. Okay. We're ready to have you. But if you choose to stay at Lubbock-Cooper High School with whatever program that you're in right now, that's great too. So if you live in Lubbock-Cooper High School attendance zone and you're a freshman, you don't have that option. You're going to stay at Lubbock-Cooper High School.
And I wish, speaking for me personally, I wish that we didn't even have an option. We live in the Liberty Zone personally, but It's just hard. Yeah, it's hard figuring out what your friends are doing.
Well, it's all going to boil down to where your friends go.
Right. No, you're right. Okay, what district and what classification do you have any feel for? What? Because I think there's misinformation about that too. That's kind of an unknown, right. But I think you kind of have a vague idea of kind of where this thing will start at.
If I had to guess, I'm going to say, when we open up in 23, and I think one of the questions you asked earlier that I didn't answer is, we're probably going to open up as a 3A school in 23. I think whenever we start in 24 with varsity football, every one of our sports that we're going to have in 23 is going to be a varsity sport except for football.
Okay.
So we're going to play varsity basketball, baseball. All of those sports will be varsity sports except for football. So in 23, probably going to be a big 3A school. And then when we actually get everything going in the fall of 24, maybe a small 4A. It's kind of what we're guessing right now.
And then it'll grow from there.
Yeah. And a lot of it is how many of those current freshmen are going to come over. Mm-hmm. That's the one that we don't. We can look at the 8th graders right now at both middle schools and go, okay, they live in our attendance zone. They're coming. But really until we get an idea about how many freshmen are wanting to come over, we're kind of in limbo just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. As far as the JV football team next year, they will play a JV schedule only.
Right.
And then everybody else would be a varsity sport. How do you, you're going to have a number of coaches, but these coaches are going to coach multiple sports. And that's just how this is going to go. It's going to be more of a quote-unquote small school environment.
Sure. And that's one of the things that really intrigued me about is, Lubbock-Cooper has grown immensely. When I got here in 2000, we were a small 4A school. We had 400 kids in high school. Okay. And now we're over 2,100 kids in high school. So a lot of my career, I've been in small schools, and I really like that small school feel, and all the kids in school, their names. When you're in the hall with them, hey, Chris, how you doing? You've seen them, you've talked to them, and I like that. I like knowing all the kids. And since I've kind of got into the AD portion of things, I'm not around them as much as I like, and I missed it. So that's why I'm going back.
Gotcha. Something that I was told to point out here too and I know several parents have asked these questions. It's some of these kids, boy or girl, doesn't really matter. The athletes, they play a variety of sports.
Right.
And if you're in a sport, you may be missing the off season of another sport, and you feel like you're getting behind, and you feel tugged and pulled in a variety of directions. I think I'm understanding this correctly, but at Liberty, at least for a while, it's kind of, you're just going to roll as far as the sports goes. There's not off seasons going on. You don't have the staff, or there's not the athletes to support those kinds of things.
Exactly right. So, if you choose not to play football and let's say you're a basketball player or you're a baseball player and you don't want to play football, we will have an off-season program that's going to be designed to make you stronger and faster. There's going to be nothing sport specific. Back when we played back in the day, those football coaches controlled everything and made everything about football. So our off season is going to be built on speed, getting faster, and fast athletes win. So we are going to be solely based on, getting fast.
Who is Joe Sexton? I told you I was going to ask you this question.
That's a good question.
You're going to because people. I think a lot of people know you, Coach, and I think a lot of people are going to get to know you. But I just want you to kind of be able to tell people who you are and what you're about, and all those things. And we were laughing because I told you I was going to ask you this. That'll take 2 seconds for me to answer that. But in all seriousness, I've known you for a while, and I know you've messed around with football and golf, and you know everybody in this whole district. But kind of who is Joe Sexton?
Well, I think just I told you it wouldn't take very long, but Joe's a coach. When I look for coaches, I look for somebody who's a coach, and you can you see people these days with all the specialty. I'm a receiver coach, or I am just a tennis coach, or I am I look for those guys who are coaches. And you can think back, you've probably known some really good ones and you've probably known some really bad ones. But I think that's what I am. I'm a coach. I've been a coach my whole career. I told you earlier, that's what I wanted to do since I was 7 years old. So good or bad, that's what Joe is as a coach.
That's right, and that's what you'll end up trying to hire, because you're going to need people that can coach a variety of different sports and not just positions and all these different things.
That's a lot of the things that when I get people are starting to send resumes in and going, hey, I want to be this coach at Liberty. Hey, I want to be that coach. And one of the first things that I'll say is, all right, what's your second sport, or maybe even your third sport? Because depending on how many kids we have, that's going to dictate on how many coaches we have. And you may have to coach 2 or 3 sports. And in larger schools now, people don't have to do that. Some at Cooper High School right now, I think everybody coaches 2 sports, but there may be some of our guys, and I may be one of them. I may be coaching 3 sports or helping out. I may go drive the tennis team somewhere, and that's what I like about it, because I get to know every sport, instead of just my guys.
And last thing, and this may be more for the young people in the audience here that will end up watching this, but uniforms and logos and what because you've been dabbling, not giving anything away, but you've been messing with that for several months and trying to figure that out. I've already had to order some stuff, because it's taken a while to get everything in. But kind of take us through what you can say there.
As the supply chain's
Right.
a big thing, So I've already ordered our helmets and shoulder pads for next year. When we get coaches in place, they're going to go ahead and place their orders. So everything that we're ordering is going to be almost at least 6 months ahead of time, just so we can get them here on time. It's like we talked about, our main colors are going to be navy, red, and white. It's crazy to me that, and I think Rydell, told us a few weeks ago that
helmet people, yeah.
The helmet folks are, 180,000 helmets behind or something like that. So it's kind of overwhelming when you place an order, whether you're going to have it or not. I think there's a lot of schools that have been calling, hey, do you have this helmet? Do you have that helmet? Do you have any smalls? Do you have any? We don't even care what color. You might have a team that's green and white, and they'll have a blue helmet,
right.
Just so they can get it. So I've been spending a lot of time going through things, because right now we don't even own a football. So whistles, everything, when I've gone through and I've tried to make my list, and I go through it every day and go, all right, what have I forgotten? And I'll have other coaches come in and go, all right, look at this, see what you think. And they go, oh, you forgot kicking tees. So, just stuff like that. So I've been kind of splitting, my time with my regular duties at Lubbock-Cooper High School, and then trying to get Liberty ready to go too.
Well, there he is. That's Joe Sexton, and this was Patriot Talk. And again, you can follow all games, and you'll be able to see Coach Sexton's games at some point on the LCISD YouTube Athletics channel, where you are on Facebook. Just search for LCISD Athletics. You were on Twitter, LCISD Athletics. I think it's actually Athletics LCP. But anyway, we're trying to cover it as best we can. Coach Sexton's their games will be on there in a year from now, and we'll just go from there. But Coach, appreciate you spending time with me today.
Thank you. And if anybody that has questions about athletics or anything Liberty, feel free to email me. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can, but I know there's a lot of questions out there. So.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Well, we attempted to answer a lot of those today, but I appreciate you spending some time. This has been Patriot Talk.